Right, I've tried to record this video about 3 times now, but I am ill at the minute. I do have a cold, a common cold. Simple as that. Don't worry, I'm okay. But you're going to hear my voice be a bit deeper than usual today as my nose is blocked up. So let's talk about this virus. I'm going to try and not call it its full name because YouTube are being a bit strict with this whole thing, and I don't want to get my channel in trouble in case I do the wrong thing. So I'm going to try and work around this as best as I can without saying it, or at least not too often. So, yeah, as of right now, reports are the Australian Grand Prix has been cancelled. We're expecting an announcement in about maybe around 30 minutes, possibly, give or take, depending as to when this video goes up. Also, if that statement I've said or read is true. Either way, let's talk about this because this has been a really crazy 24 hours in the world of F1 and also just worldwide, period. The virus has been spreading, and unfortunately, in the last 24 hours, it has been confirmed that a member of the McLaren F1 team did contract the virus. He has been tested and came back positive. There were also 4 members of the Haas F1 team who also tested, and they came back negative. So for now, it's just the one, but that is enough to the point where McLaren had to cancel their commitment and also their involvement in this weekend's Australian Grand Prix, and absolutely rightly so. You know, it makes absolute sense for them to not take part anymore, especially once, you know, a team member was positive with the virus. And it's taking long enough for F1 and FIA to make a decision, and it's really embarrassing as to how much time they need to make a simple, straightforward decision like this. And, you know, all they have to do is pull the plug on the whole thing. Unfortunately, they should have not committed to this race in the first place. You know, the fact is so far away, knowing that the next race is behind closed doors and round 3 at Vietnam is not going to happen probably, they should have just pushed everything back or cancelled the first 3 races, and the season will probably start at round 4 or round 5 at the Spanish Grand Prix, whenever that may be. Now, of course, that is purely speculation on my behalf. I think the season, if it starts at Spain, will have 3 or 4 races less. It's still a long enough season to get, you know, a full season out of it. And it just means it starts in about a month and a half to 2 months' time, around May, which for me is totally fair. At the minute, all events, whether it be sport, gaming, music events, anything at all, everything seems to be at least pushed back until April or even May. MotoGP, for example, isn't going to start until May now. So, you know, there's been a lot of cancellations over the last 24 hours, whether it be Premier League, Champions League, La Liga. Serie A has been called off. We've now got NBA completely called off after a player tested positive. We had an Italian player for Juventus, Daniel Ruani, test positive for the virus as well. And just generally, it's getting out of hand, and we need to pull a plug on the whole thing and just keep everything under control. And for me, this decision is the right thing to do. It should have happened yesterday. I mean, I'll say that they should have never gone to Australia, to be honest with you. And the reason this happened is because, of course, the hotel in which the teams were staying, one person in the hotel, just a random person, had the virus, and it did spread to the McLaren team member. So he's now in quarantine, and McLaren have confirmed they're taking the steps necessary for him to hopefully get through the virus, and I wish him all the best. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he gets through it, and I'm sure you guys will wish him the best too. But yeah, you know, we've seen drivers in the last few hours come out like Hamilton, even Sebastian Vettel, and just say this is not the right thing to do. You know, this race should not happen. It shouldn't have happened. And the drivers have the power to also just say, you know what, we refuse to race because this is not right. And I have a small bone to pick with the teams, some teams in particular, because obviously a week ago there was the statement about Ferrari's engine settlement coming out, and a lot of teams are very passionate about doing the right thing, you know, and getting to the bottom of it and trying to fix a potential wrong issue. Yet, the second the McLaren announcement came out, every single team should have decided, you know what, we're done. We're not racing. Doesn't matter what the team or the governing body of the FIA say, you know, we don't want to run that risk. But that hasn't happened, and that's quite disappointing, you know, to see that. Either way, this weekend, it looks like we're not going to have a race. I don't think we're going to have one at Bahrain or Vietnam, so that might get pushed back to next year in terms of its debut race. And I think this could work better for everybody if the first race is Spain, to be honest with you. You know, circumstances are important here, context is important, and the fact is health is, you know, the main thing for everybody. I mean, I'm saying that now I've got a cold, so I'd much rather be healthy than not be like this. So it makes total sense, and we need to accept that this thing is serious. The World Health Organization confirmed yesterday that this is now a big problem, and it needs to be addressed. So the MLS got pushed back. MotoGP's been pushed back. The NBA has been cancelled until further notice. All these things, the F1 sport or the F1 circus has to follow the example set by other sports. F1's always behind in these kind of things, and it's really, really embarrassing, to see. And it's not a good image for the sport. So F1 needs to come up with a full statement and also apologise for everything. Give every single fan a refund, of course, and move on, because these circumstances are not normal. It's out of the normal, and you just have to accept that these things happen sometimes from time to time. Like, years ago when we had malaria or swine flu, these kind of things just happen. And I really, really hope that F1 can learn from this and improve moving forward. I also want to mention Sky Sports F1 here, because there was a really embarrassing tweet go out about 45 minutes ago saying that the race will go ahead according to their reports. And that's awful journalism. You can't put something out for clicks when you don't know the facts, and that's really, really poor. They have to since deleted the tweet, which is, again, it further proves that they were wrong. And about 30 minutes after Sky put up that tweet, BBC Sport put out a tweet saying that they had received from a couple of sources that the race won't go ahead. And now since then, there has been more breaking news and more sources confirming that news. And we'll probably get confirmation soon. The problem is it's about 3:45 a.m, I believe, in Australia at the minute, as I'm recording this. So it's very, very late / early morning, depending on how you look at it. So I'm not quite sure when we'll get the announcement. Hopefully it is soon. But for me, this is the right thing to happen, because, we've already had a McLaren team member affected by this, and who knows what could have happened. It could have been disastrous. Also, not for their sake, but also for the fans' sake at the event, And also at the same time, having events behind closed doors without fans isn't the right thing. That's not what F1 or any sport really is about, So for me, the fact is, everything's got to be put on standstill. Everything needs to be pushed back. And I tweeted this earlier. I got some good comments about this and also some bad ones. But I personally feel like the world, the whole planet needs to just be locked down. Every single country needs to kind of lock everything off for now and stop the spread of this, whether it's you stop going to work, you stop going to school for at least a week or 2 weeks or maybe even a month, whatever is necessary to stop the spread, because it's going at a ridiculous rate. It really is, and it is concerning. Me personally, I'm very calm about this. I'm not nervous, but I'd be lying if I said I'm not starting to get a little bit nervous, especially if the numbers keep going this way, because this virus does tend to affect people in slightly older in age, and also people that have problems such as asthma or health issues. So we need to be careful with this, and I think F1 have to learn from this. This has been a massive mistake, and I don't want to talk about this too much, because also I'm not a qualified expert or nothing like that, so I don't want to it's not my place to kind of comment what's right, what's wrong. You should be doing this, you should be doing that. But the fact is, this situation has been ongoing for a long time now, and F1 just decided to ignore it, and now it's affected somebody, which is what nobody wanted. So yeah, F1 has a lot to answer for here. But yeah, guys, I'm going to wrap things up in this video. I feel like I could ramble on this for a little while, because some things do rub me the wrong way in terms of the way F1 do things, and also the media as well. Some outlets are just really, really poor in terms of the things they do. Whether the race gets postponed or completely cancelled is, remains to be seen. I think it could be postponed maybe to later on in the year, possibly, and it could be done then, possibly. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, the calendar, in my opinion, is too long as it is. I don't agree with 21 races. I think it's too much, especially if they add more, because then there's no space in case things like this happen to reschedule things, because there's no space. So, for me, again, that's something else F1 needs to learn and prioritize health, well-being, and, time over money, and trying to prioritize more races into things. So, for me, there's a lot to learn, and hopefully you guys also are doing well. You learn a lot from the situation, and again, it's not just F1, it's NBA, football, whether it be Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Champions League, possibly the Euros. They're going to be pushed back to next year. That's the rumour at the minute. Nothing's confirmed. That's just a rumour. I'm expecting, tennis events, anything, cycling, anything that's got a crowd will be pushed back. So, yeah, that's going to be it for me in this video here today, guys. Give me your thoughts and opinions down below. What maybe you would do to combat the situation. Obviously, nobody here is a specialist, so take it with a pinch of salt. And yeah, like I said, I'm personally ill, so I'm going to now relax after this and try and improve my voice because I'm feeling a bit on the ropes. But guys, that's going to be it for me here today. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like, and like I said, give me your comments and opinions down below. And yeah, fingers crossed, in the future we learn our lessons, and who knows, we may or may not get an F1 season this year, but hopefully we do. And if we do, it's with the correct circumstances and everything is going away and everything is going ahead in the best way possible. But until then, guys, that is going to be it from me here today. And I'll see you in my next video very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.